we are looking at a leveling off of the rise and possibly a little bit of a drop. And you can see on the short-term chart, we're definitely a downtrend right now. And we have a ceiling up here that's following the blue line and even a little bit lower, this yellow line, the gold SMA. And I had said yesterday I thought it would drop down to the 100% line, and here it is. So we're almost there. We're not quite there yet. So at the moment, it looks like it has risen and possibly a very good place here soon to get into a short. So here we have a wick that went up to the gold line and then immediately dropped back down. And so I decided that it was time here to get into a short. So I placed my order here. But just in case, I went ahead and put a stop order in because I do see the potential for it going up to that point, and that would be a considerable loss for me. So I don't want to do that. If you do look on the 1 hour chart here, you can also see the zigzag pattern. If you drew a channel through here, we could see that it could potentially get up, quite a ways up into this area right here. So, and also you can see on the 15-minute chart, that's kind of where the gold SMA is up here. So, I really don't want to put that much risk on the table. So I am going to put a stop in at this point. Okay, it's looking very promising that it's going to drop. We're seeing a big candle. It's gone below the last candle there. And I've kind of anticipated that it would get down to this point here, which is near the body of the bottom candles here. We're seeing the MACD turn over. Soon we're losing momentum. Each of these candles here is developing beautifully. Okay. Sometimes it goes up a little bit, but not too concerned yet. And if it goes up above the gold SMA there, then I will be stopped out. So I'm happy with that. I went ahead and canceled that stop order at this point because I was seeing that if it did go up, I really didn't think it was going to get up much past this and the blue line, and I don't know, I just felt like that was worth the risk. I'm just seeing more and more. I'm just getting a feel that it really wants to drop more than it wants to go up. Okay. All right, now we're seeing a very nice drop. Very, very nice. However, it's still, I feel like it's just beginning the drop, so I am not too worried yet. And it kind of went back up again, developed a doji, went up to that gold line again. And here we have the opening bell. Slightly concerned here, but I don't think it's probably going to go up too far. Okay, so it went up to that point and immediately dropped back down again. So I think that was a good call. The fact that it didn't even quite get up to the blue SMA there, this line, and it actually did touch the gold SMA on the 15-minute chart there, and then immediately dropped back down. You're seeing more bearish excitement than bullish. It's struggling to go up and quick to go down. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. And now the MACD looks really, really good. So very hopeful. Haven't really changed my opinion about where I want it to go, but I did drop it down a couple of ticks just to get as much out of that as I could. Okay, here's one piece of news that caught my attention, talking about Ukraine halting attacks on Russian refining facilities and a possible ceasefire in Gaza. These are pieces of information that could well affect the market in a big way. So just want to keep an eye on that stuff. Okay, it went back up again, but again, the peak here is lower than that one, and this is considerably lower than that one, didn't reach that, so I'm not too worried yet. I'm willing to put that much risk on the table. All right, this is slightly higher than that. I decided that it was worth hanging on because I was kind of watching it pretty closely there. And you can see that, these points here where I got in and the blue SMA are getting closer together. So that's less risk for me as well. And again, we are seeing huge candles develop very quickly in the downward direction, so not too worried. Okay, another drop, and it finally broke below that gold SMA and went all the way down to my limit order, which I had raised up just a smidge. And may or may not have needed to, because it did have a wick that went down to that point, but sometimes those wicks move so quickly that the orders don't take. So it's probably just as well I got out when I did, and that was a good trade. Very good trade. Okay, so now I decided that we could ride it up. I waited a while, actually. You can see it went up here and kind of hesitated and then dropped a little bit more, but then didn't go down too far. I'm seeing that it's struggling for direction right now. It doesn't seem to want to drop anymore at the moment. And I think it might be decent trade to ride it up just a little bit, probably not super far. And I know that's counter trend, but I don't know, seems worth the risk at the time. So I got into a long position here just before it decided to go up pretty quickly. And MACD is just now developing a crossover here, which is good. And I went ahead and got out as soon as it crossed over that gold SMA and developed that first red candle, that first hesitation. I just didn't want to put that much risk on the table. That was a very good trade. The second trade was like as much as the first trade, and I didn't have to wait nearly as long either, which was really nice. Okay, so now I am seeing it hesitate at that point, and the upward momentum seems to have slowed down. We have a doji, we have, we have a downward, trend. So I'm thinking at this point it's probably a good time to get into a short, which I did. And I only need one more trade. I only need like $10 more to get before I reach my goal. So I'm not looking for a huge trade here. So this seemed like a good time to do it and a place to do it. Okay, so it's looking promising. The wick developed very quickly right there and then shot back up again, which is kind of disappointing. I thought it probably would drop a little further than that. I didn't need it to drop much. I'm also looking at the SMAs here and here, and I made sure that my order was just above that, because until it breaks through that, we're probably not going to see a lot of downward, big downward movements. Okay, I raised up my order just a little bit because now we've gone up a little bit more, which made me sad, but again, I'm not too worried. Just have to wait a little bit longer. I don't really see it going above the blue SMA. There's always that potential, but so far so good. And as long as it doesn't do that, it will most likely drop down to even the same place that it did before, or just above it. You can see that this lower part here is a little bit higher than this, so we are losing downward momentum here potentially. Okay, got a green candle there that brought it back up again, but immediately dropped. And then it finally just completely dropped through, and it went so quickly that actually it passed my order before it took it, which was kind of cool. And then it took it, and I actually made more than I needed to, which was awesome. And that was my third trade, and I'm done. Thanks for joining me.